Holiday dough. Lily stared at her reflection in the kitchen window, her heart racing. For years, the culinary legacy of her grandmother had been linked to the cherished Pear Tree Festival in their quaint town of Oak Hollow. With her parents gone for a holiday trip to visit relatives in Spain, this year the cookie-making responsibilities fell squarely on her shoulders. And the pressure was immense. The bakery was notorious for its sweet treats, and competition with the new cafe across the street, run by the sassy Delilah Thompson, was fierce. If she wanted to uphold her family's reputation, she needed to go above and beyond. With the pressure of perfection bearing down on her, Lily pushed her dark curls back into a messy bun and began gathering ingredients. Flour check. Sugar check. A seemingly endless supply of chocolate chips check. The day melted into a whirlwind of powdered sugar clouds and mixing bowls. Yet, despite her best efforts, the batches kept failing. The first was burnt, the second too dry, and the third came out looking more like pancake batter than cookie dough. With exhaustion setting in, Lily plopped down at the kitchen table only to be startled by a light knock at the door. Peering through the glass, she saw Delilah standing there. Tall, with wild curly hair spilling out from under a bright red winter hat, her deep green eyes sparkling with curiosity. Lily felt a flutter in her chest but quickly shook it off as she unlocked the door. "Hey," she managed, trying to mask her surprise. "Hi there. I saw you looking a bit overwhelmed," Delilah said, a playful grin spreading across her face. "Thought I might pop by. Need a hand?" Well, I could definitely use some backup," Lily admitted, staring at Delilah's sincerity, which made her heart race for entirely different reasons than the cookie disaster. "Great. Let's tackle this nonsense together," Delilah said, crossing the threshold. They spent the next few days in a whirlwind of sugar and laughter, creating delightful chaos in the kitchen. Their personalities complemented each other, Lily's meticulousness balancing Delilah's carefree spirit. "Okay, one last try for tonight. No pressure," Delilah declared, her eyes twinkling as they stirred their final batch. Finally, the cookies emerged from the oven golden and fluffy, the aroma filling the air. "They're perfect," Delilah exclaimed, a chocolate smudge adorning the corner of her mouth. Without thinking, Lily reached forward to wipe it away, their eyes locking for a brief moment. Sorry. Lily stammered, pulling her hand back as she felt heat rush to her cheeks. Delilah laughed, her cheeks equally flushed. "It's okay. It's not like it's the strangest thing I've experienced while baking." That night, Lily lay in bed contemplating what had developed between her and Delilah. The spark between them was undeniable. It felt electrifying. On the morning of the Pear Tree Festival, Lily rose early to finalize her cookie preparations. Just as she was starting her last batch, Delilah's face popped into her mind again, bright and full of possibility. Alas, meetings and chaos pulled Delilah away to help her parents, leaving Lily to complete the baking alone. "You've got this," she whispered to herself, trying to quell the bittersweet feeling of missing Delilah. By the time evening rolled around, Lily had accomplished her goal, with an impressive tray of cookies laid out on the table. Before the festival began, Lily donned a festive green dress, a simple yet elegant choice that felt appropriate. With the shop bustling with customers, she felt proud of her work. Just then, a familiar voice echoed through the bakery. "Lily," Delilah called, waving as she stepped through the doorway, her cheeks rosy from the cold. "Delilah, I didn't know if you'd make it," Lily exclaimed, her heart fluttering. "I wouldn't miss it. I had to see the masterpiece you created," Delilah replied, her playful tone sending butterflies racing through Lily's stomach. The evening continued with laughter, stories, and too many cookies for any person to handle. But when the last batch was declared the season's favorite by festival-goers, Lily felt a sense of triumph and relief wash over her. As the night wound down, she checked her phone only to see a message from Delilah, asking her to meet outside the shop. "Be right back." Lily called to her parents and dashed outside, anticipation bubbling in her chest. Delilah stood there, bundled up but glowing beneath the fairy lights, her leaves of curly hair dancing in the wind. "So I had an idea," she began, moving closer, her voice barely above a whisper. "What's that?" Lily asked, slightly breathless. "I think we should celebrate this victory together," Delilah said, that playful grin returning. "Might even involve a special treat just for us." she added, biting her lip. Before Lily could respond, Delilah leaned in, capturing her lips in a warm, gentle kiss. The world around them faded as they melted into the moment, her heart soaring. When they pulled back, both were grinning like giddy children. Guess we'll definitely be rivals in baking, but I'd love to team up against the cookie world with you anytime, Delilah said, laughter sparkling in her eyes. Lily nodded, unable to form words, but her smile said it all. As they strolled hand in hand beneath the twinkling lights, it was clear to both of them that this holiday season held a magic far sweeter than any cookie they could bake. As they strolled through the festive streets of Oak Hollow, the scent of pine and cinnamon filled the air, mingling perfectly with the sweet aroma of the cookies they had baked. Lily felt exhilarated, her heart racing in a way it hadn't in years. Delilah's hand fit perfectly in hers, and the warmth between them contrasted the chill of the winter night. "Where to?" Lily asked, glancing at Delilah, who had an adventurous glint in her eyes. "There's a spot by the lake where the festival lights reflect beautifully on the water," Delilah replied. "I thought we could celebrate over a couple of hot chocolates." "I love that idea," Lily beamed. As they walked, they passed families enjoying the festivities, laughter echoing from the stalls, and music dancing in the crisp air. Upon reaching the lake, the sight was breathtaking. The water shimmered, reflecting the colorful strings of lights that adorned the trees. Delilah and Lily settled on a bench nearby, their breath visible in the cool evening air. A vendor selling hot chocolate was conveniently close, and Lily slipped a few bills from her pocket. "Let me treat you," she insisted, wanting to give back just a little of the joy Delilah had brought her. "You sure?" "I have some cash," Delilah countered, but Lily waved her off. "Just relax. Besides, you helped create the best cookies in town. You deserve this," she said with a cheeky smile. Delilah rolled her eyes dramatically but nodded, clearly amused. As Lily waited in line, she watched Delilah pull a few loose strands of hair behind her ear, the soft glow of the festival lights illuminating her features. To Lily, Delilah was stunning, and an overwhelming rush of affection surged through her. With 2 steaming cups of hot chocolate in hand, Lily returned to the bench where Delilah was admiring the scenery. The 2 girls sipped their drinks slowly, words flowing as naturally as the warm liquid swallowed by their eager lips. They chatted about everything: childhood memories, favorite flavors, and the joys and frustrations of running a bakery. "I always found it funny that you were the one behind the counter," Delilah teased. "I mean, in terms of baking royalty, I thought—" Delilah rolled her eyes dramatically. "You'd be sitting on a throne or something." Lily laughed, her cheeks warming as her confidence blossomed in Delilah's presence. "Well, I do prefer my throne to be made of cookie dough," she replied playfully. As laughter filled the tiny space between them, Delilah leaned closer, her voice lowering as she asked, "What about you? Do you see yourself in the bakery forever?" Lily paused, considering the question. "Honestly, I love it, but sometimes I wonder if there's more out there for me. I've always dreamed about exploring flavors and recipes that aren't just in the family tradition," she confessed, twirling the cup in her hands. Delilah's eyes sparkled with intrigue. "What do you mean? Like a pastry chef exploring the globe?" "Exactly. I want to learn from all cultures: French pastries, Japanese wagashi, Italian tiramisu. I want to experiment beyond the cookie." As she spoke, her excitement bubbled up, igniting a passion she'd long kept hidden. "I think that's amazing," Delilah whispered, her eyes fixed on Lily. "You should do it. There's a whole world of baking waiting for you, and trust me, there's plenty of space for a royalty of cookies, too." Lily felt her heart swell. "You really think so?" "I know so." Delilah leaned even closer, their faces inches apart. "And wherever you go, I'd like to be there to cheer you on. Because I want to see you shine. Not just as the baker of Oak Hollow but beyond." Their eyes locked, and Lily felt a surge of courage. "Delilah, what if I told you I'd love to explore it with you? Maybe we can make a pastry adventure of our own." Delilah beamed, her expression lighting up like the lights sparkling around them. "That sounds like a dream. We'd be the ultimate baking duo, traveling the universe of sweets." "Now that's a plan." Lily laughed softly, and in that moment all her worries faded away. Driven by a sudden impulse, Lily reached out and intertwined her fingers with Delilah's, feeling an electric connection course between them. As they sat together, the world seeming to slow around them, Delilah's gaze shifted toward the lake. You know, it's funny. I used to think I'd never find someone who got my crazy ideas, she confessed, her tone vulnerable. You're the first person I want to share this dream with. Lily's heart skipped a beat. It's the same for me. You're spontaneous and adventurous, and I need that in my life. It makes me feel more alive. The moment hung in the air between them, charged with feelings they both couldn't ignore. Lily leaned in and Delilah met her halfway, their lips brushing against each other once more, this time lingering, savoring the sweetness of the moment. As they pulled back, both girls smiled shyly. This is the best night ever, Lily whispered, feeling a glow of happiness radiate through her. Agreed, Delilah said, her eyes sparkling brighter. But we really should consider planning that adventure soon. Maybe a cookie tour of Europe. Only if we stick to our favorites and try out every local dessert we find, Lily exclaimed, excitement bubbling inside her once again. Deal. And I'll document it all so we can publish our story someday, Delilah responded, her enthusiasm infectious. With the stars twinkling above, the two of them began to plot their future adventures, their dreams intertwining like the threads of their lives. The laughter and chatter continued as they made plans, and in that magical moment by the lake, everything felt perfectly right. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of a beautiful journey together. One filled with cookies, adventures, and perhaps a dash of love. As the festival continued in the background, the two girls leaned on each other, their hearts full of hope and possibility, knowing that whatever the future held, they would face it together, side by side. As the evening wore on, Lily and Delilah remained by the shimmering lake, their laughter mingling with the sounds of the festival echoing in the distance. Each shared dream, each spirited idea drew them closer, solidifying a bond neither had anticipated but both desperately craved. Okay, how about this? Delilah said, her eyes sparkling with mischief. What if we challenge each other at the next bake-off at the fair? I'll attempt a chocolate souffle, and you can whip up whatever cookie creation you dream up. May the best baker win. Lily chuckled at her friend's feisty spirit. With your track record? You'd probably beat me easy, she teased, though her own competitive spirit started to bubble. But I won't back down. Just you wait. I'll come up with a cookie that'll blow your souffle out of the water. Oh, we'll see about that, Delilah replied, grinning widely. But no matter who wins, we'll have to celebrate with a bake-off party afterward. It won't just be pastries. We'll invite all our friends and make a whole event out of it. Games, food, music. It'll be epic. I can picture it already. The crowd cheering for us, the smell of baked goods wafting through the air. Lily's voice trailed off as she imagined the scene. The two queens of confection, Delilah declared dramatically, pulling her to her feet as if they were on stage, sweeping an arm around her theatrically. Lily laughed, feeling light and buoyant, as if they really were on a grand stage. The spontaneity of the night thrummed through her, filling the gaps that had felt so empty before. Flashes of self-doubt dissipated under the promise of a vibrant future. I love this idea, Lily said earnestly, her heart swelling at the thought of building something with Delilah. With our strengths combined, we'd have a fantastic time. Delilah's expression softened, and she stepped closer. We're going to create a lot of amazing memories together, Lily. I can just feel it. And not just as bakers, more than that. Lily felt a warmth spread through her chest at the implications of Delilah's words. I hope so, she whispered, a feeling of hope washing over her. I want us to be more than just friends, if that's what you mean. That's exactly what I mean, Delilah said, her voice softening as she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear again and offered a tentative smile. I'm really glad we met, you know? You bring something out of me that's refreshing. I feel the same way, Lily replied, desperately trying to rein in her emotions. I've never felt this way about someone before. It's new and exciting. Just then their conversation was interrupted by fireworks bursting in the sky above them, bright colors illuminating their cheeks as they looked skyward. Wow! Lily exclaimed, pointing at a dazzling display of reds and blues. Pretty, right? Delilah asked, leaning her head back, her shoulder brushing against Lily's. Wait until you see it reflected in the lake. It's like a painting. As the two girls marveled at the spectacle above, Lily felt the electric connection between them intensify. With each explosive burst in the air, she felt more at home right beside Delilah. You know, I can't help but think how lucky we are to be sharing this moment together, Delilah commented, breaking the silence as she turned to smile at Lily. I know, Lily agreed, her heart feeling lighter than air. It feels like a dream. You keep saying that. Delilah laughed, nudging her gently. But dreams can come true, especially if you bake them into reality. Okay, enough with the bakery metaphors. I get it. Lily teased back, laughter bubbling up between them. When the final firework exploded overhead, illuminating their surroundings one last time, it felt like an exclamation point on their burgeoning relationship. Lily took a deep breath. Can I tell you something? Always, Delilah replied, her eyes earnest and attentive. I've been thinking about how we met in the bakery, and even though it was chaotic, that chaos led to something truly wonderful. I really want to pursue this, whatever this ends up being. Lily's voice trembled slightly, vulnerability echoing in her words. I do too, Delilah said, her expression deepening as she stepped even closer. You're kind of everything I didn't know I was missing. I'd love to see where this goes. Their conversation hung in the air like the remnants of the fireworks, both girls reveling in the joy of connection. Lily's heart raced as they gazed into each other's eyes, the world around them fading into a blur. Just as she opened her mouth to speak, Delilah leaned in, capturing Lily's lips in a soft kiss, slow and tentative at first. The kiss was electric, filled with the promise of new beginnings and limitless possibilities. Lily leaned into it, wrapping her arms around Delilah's waist, deepening the kiss as everything else melted away. When they finally pulled apart, breathless and giggling, Delilah rested her forehead against Lily's. That was nice, right? More than nice, Lily smiled, feeling a warmth radiate through her entire body. It was perfect. There, under the night sky lit with festival lights and the fading echoes of fireworks, they shared their hopes and dreams, letting the world outside their bubble drift away. In that moment, nothing felt uncertain or terrifying. As they stood up to leave, hand in hand, Delilah squeezed Lily's fingers gently. I can't wait to start our baking adventure. We'll conquer the world, one cookie at a time. And every soufflé, Lily added playfully, feeling invigorated. They walked back to the heart of the festival, planning their future bake-offs, culinary discoveries, and the thrill of facing challenges side by side. Each step was filled with laughter, dreams woven together, and the realization that they had turned a simple night out into the start of something beautiful and profound. Together, they were ready to write their story. A story of friendship, love, and of course cookies that would carry them through the sweet, unexpected journey ahead.